Hey guys, it's Kristen. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am in my third and final year, and actually my final semester of a Doctorate of Physical Therapy program, and I post videos about my journey in PT school. I currently am in my very last clinical rotation, which is 100% pelvic health, which is what I plan to work in when I graduate. So today I'm going to be filming a Q&A for you guys. I asked for questions on my Instagram in a little question poll box thing and on my community tab. So I thought I would sit down and answer these for you guys. I like to do this every couple of months just to kind of catch up and answer all of your questions. I also wanted to apologize for not uploading a video last week. I have had a lot on my plate recently with it being my last semester. I am studying for the boards, which I'm taking in April. And this clinical rotation has been really challenging since it is a specialty area of physical therapy. It requires a lot of me studying and prepping on my own time. I'm trying to keep up with my YouTube channel as best as I can, but committing to every single week may be a lot right now. So I'm going to try my best, but if I miss uploads, I'm really sorry. And just know I am doing the best that I can. Let's get into the questions that you guys asked. The first one is from one of my best friends. She said, "How does living in Georgia compare to Pennsylvania?" If you didn't know, I originally am from Pennsylvania. That is where I grew up and went to high school and everything. And then I moved to Georgia for college, and I ended up staying for physical therapy school as well. And now that I'm about to graduate, I just recently moved back to Pennsylvania for my last rotation, and also that is where I am looking to work once I graduate. So it is really bittersweet because I love Georgia. I love all my friends there. It is a really awesome city. The weather is great, but just me personally, it was just a little too far from home. 12 hours, it's kind of difficult to be there without any family or anything. So I decided to move back, and I am really happy and doing well here. So it feels really good to be back. Next question, kind of similar. Someone said, would you recommend going to Georgia for pre-PT students? So like I said, I went to the University of Georgia. Go Dogs. It was such a fun school, obviously with the football team being so incredible. It was just such a fun and awesome experience. And they have a really, really great exercise science department. But what I will say is it is a very, very challenging school, and I had no clue, like when I was going there, that it was going to be nearly as difficult as it was. You do have to apply to your major. So I was exercise science, and they only take a certain number of people. So junior year you apply in order to be accepted, and I remember being so stressed out and overwhelmed that I wasn't going to get in. I was like, at this point I'm 2 years in. If I don't get in, what the heck am I going to do? So that was really, really stressful, honestly. The science courses are really, really hard. I've mentioned this in some of my past videos, but I ended up taking 2 of my science courses over the summer at home in order to get a better grade to help me get into my major and get into physical therapy school. So I did enjoy it. I did feel like it prepared me really well for PT school, but just know it is hard. Be really ready to work. My GPA, it wasn't low. It was like a 3.6 something, but I know if I went to a little bit more of an easier school, I would have had a higher GPA than that and maybe have had an easier time getting into physical therapy school. I know UGA is really well respected within the state of Georgia, and I know tons of my friends that applied to PT schools in the state and got in, but personally, like, I worry, like, if I were to have applied to schools up north, would I have gotten in with that GPA? So that is just something to keep in mind. But long-winded answer, overall I really liked my college experience, but it is difficult, and maybe possibly be ready to stay in the state of Georgia for grad school if needed. Someone else says, biggest piece of advice for motivation to study every day in PT school? Coffee. I would get Starbucks or get Dunkin', or make myself a really yummy like latte and espresso. I would sit down at my desk with my good drink, have all my cute school supplies out, notes, markers, stickers, highlighters, try to make it as fun as possible. That was always really motivating to me. And also kind of in your mind thinking of it as, I need to learn this material for my patients, for my future, for my long term, not just studying for this test that is tomorrow. So kind of watch YouTube videos, try to get the bigger picture of things and really get that understanding down. And that always helped me. And also having fun things to look forward to, like say, I'm going to study for 3 hours, and then after that I'm going to go out to dinner or something. Have something to look forward to. to get through your day of studying. And also do a little bit every single day. That makes it feel less overwhelming. I was one that would put in like 2, maybe 3 hours per day, not like a big cram one day and then not study for a few days. That makes it seem less daunting as well. Next question is your favorite injury to treat in clinic. If you're talking about pelvic floor, I absolutely love when the new moms come in because it is just so amazing being able to educate them about their bodies and the changes that happen during pregnancy and all about the pelvic floor and what we can do to help them. It is very comforting for them to know that there is something that can be done to help their symptoms. So I absolutely love that, and I absolutely love hearing all about their little babies and seeing their pictures. But if we were talking more about like orthopedics, I did do an outpatient orthopedic rotation. I really liked the knee for some reason. I feel like it's because it's a little bit, I want to say easier, but more straightforward because really it doesn't move that many directions, so there's not as many like joint moves or special tests, and I just really liked treating the knees. Someone said, I just got into PT school. I won't start till the fall, but is there any advice on preparing? So I did film an entire video like how to prepare for PT school before first semester. So that will go much more in depth on this answer and I will have it linked above. But honestly, if I had the whole summer to prepare before PT school, I would try to work. If you do have a job, pick up as many shifts as you can. Try to save up that money because you likely won't be working very much during school. Go on trips, spend time with your friends and family, really just do all of that fun stuff because you won't really have a lot of time to these next couple of years. Make sure you have all the requirements met for your program before you start, but don't study. Like honestly, you really don't need to study because everything is going to be in the curriculum that you need. Really just get yourself in the mental space to be starting school. Someone else said, update on your job search. So I am currently trying to figure out my life post-grad, and I don't want to share anything until everything is kind of set in stone and I have like 100% like plans lined up. So I don't want to say anything just yet, but the options that I am considering are all in the pelvic floor physical therapy space. So that is as much as a hint as you guys are getting right now, and I will update you guys as soon as I have an update. So someone said, how many hours a day did you study the first couple of semesters? So honestly, I feel like it's going to start off a lot higher and then taper down as you get more confident and best kind of understand how to prepare for exams, because in PT school they're much more case-based and applying things as opposed to straight memorization. So at first, honestly, I was probably studying like 3 or 4 hours per day, a little bit more on the weekends, and then as the semesters went on it probably went down to about like 2 or 3 hours per day. But really it just depends, like the week, what's coming up. Is it a written test? Is it a hands-on test? But I would expect to do a few hours every single day because it really is like constant practice and repetition, especially in the beginning when you're trying to learn those things like muscle cards with the function, nerve, origin, insertion, all of that good stuff. This is funny. Someone said, where is your boyfriend? He hasn't been in your vlogs lately. Does he live in Pennsylvania? So funny to me that you guys are like asking about Austin. I don't show him in that many vlogs, but he has been in a couple. So if you guys didn't know, my boyfriend's name is Austin. We met in college and have been dating for, it'll be 4 years, March 17th, and he is still in Georgia, unfortunately, because he is finishing up his master's, but he is done in a few weeks, and then he's moving up here, and we are hopefully getting an apartment. That is so exciting. So I can't wait for him to be here because I miss him. He's actually visiting this week, so maybe if I vlog, he'll be in it again, so you guys will get to see him then. Said, would you recommend staying up to date with course material to those that are taking a gap year? Honestly, I think the most valuable thing you can do in a gap year is work a job that is relevant to physical therapy, so being an aide at a clinic or something, and really just trying to learn the more sort of practical side of physical therapy, taking note of certain interventions that are done for certain types of injuries, getting comfortable taking blood pressures, vital signs, whatever is within your scope and your state as a PT tech. I think that is really valuable. Personally, I didn't take a gap year, but the people in my class that did, which is a lot of people, so don't feel bad if you are taking a gap year, I felt like they were so much more knowledgeable about like the practical intervention modalities side of physical therapy as opposed to me. I saw a little bit in shadowing, but it wasn't full time, so I wasn't really able to kind of get as much out of it as they were. So not necessarily studying, but I would recommend kind of keeping up with relevance in the profession and learning that way, if that makes sense. Any tips you recommend for people looking to be more efficient with their note-taking? So personally, I absolutely loved my iPad. If you have the financial means to purchase one, I definitely recommend it. I would download the PowerPoints onto my Notability app, so I had all the notes right there, and then with my Apple Pencil I would just write in like the few extra words or whatever in the margins. But that really allowed me to be present in class and not be trying to type, scribble down notes or anything like that. I really could listen and digest the information while I was in lecture. And if I have one tip for you guys on how to be able to cut down your studying time, it's paying attention in class. If you are there and you are just zoned out the whole time, online shopping, not asking questions, you're going to have to do so much work on your own time to kind of learn that material. It's basically teaching yourself, as opposed to if you're present in class, really listening, just taking down the notes that you need to, asking questions as they come. I found that that was something that really helped me and really allowed me to cut down my studying time. Pros and cons of being a physical therapist. So pros, it is a very fun job. Obviously you are interacting with people all the time. You're never just behind a computer screen lonely. It is a very like sociable job. You get to help people. You get to see them from their lowest point to getting them back to their highest level of function. So that is really amazing and satisfying. It is a way to work in healthcare without the needles and kind of more so grosser aspects of things, which personally I cannot deal with. So overall, I just think it's a really cool profession that helps heal people by using their own bodies and muscles. So I think that's awesome. As for cons, I would say we aren't really recognized for the education that we do have a lot of the times. With us having a doctorate, a lot of other healthcare professions don't really understand what that means or what that looks like. So that can be a little bit frustrating. And with that comes reimbursement not being quite as high as some other healthcare professions. But overall, I really do love this career and I think it's awesome. Those are all the questions I'm going to be answering today. I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching, and to everyone who submitted a question in this video. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys in my next video next Saturday. Bye!